Okay, so we're going to be looking at trigonometry today. There's a couple of examples in this video that are sort of building on some basics, and then towards the last example, so example 3, is where we're actually finding missing sides. So really important that you make sure you look at example 3 today, and you pay attention to that and go back and watch it again if you're still not sure. Okay, so 3 examples here for us to look at in today's lesson. We're going to be doing trigonometry today. But first of all, we're going to look at the first example is going to be labelling the sides. Second one is working out the value of sine, cos, and tan. And the third example is going to be finding a missing side. Okay, so this is a topic that people generally find quite hard. So please make sure you are asking me for help. Just send me a message on Show My Homework or email if you want me to go in a bit more detail for you. Okay, so we need to label our sides. We're going to start off by looking at where our angle is. Our angle is here. So the first side we want to write in is our opposite. So our opposite side is the side that is opposite the angle that we've been given. So we are going to write here my opposite. The second side I can write in is my hypotenuse. So our hypotenuse is sort of our C from Pythagoras. It's always opposite my right angle. So I can write that in as my H. And the last side is called my adjacent. And that always goes from the right angle to my angle here. So what I'd like you guys to do is have a go at this question. Just notice that this time the angle is up the top here. So can you have a go at labeling this triangle? So here we're going to have opposite my angle is this side down here this time. My hypotenuse opposite my right angle is my H, and then my adjacent is the one that joins my 90-degree up to my angle. So we could have a go at the first section of questions now then for me, please. So, doing trigonometry, we are going to be using SOHCAHTOA a lot in the work that we do. So we've got sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is opposite over adjacent. So first thing we need to do is label my triangle. So I've got my opposite is opposite the angles. The angle would be given as here. Adjacent is the one down the bottom. My hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. So what I can do now is I can say sine of my angle is my opposite over my hypotenuse. Cos of my angle is my adjacent, so 12 over my hypotenuse, and my tan of my angle is my opposite over my adjacent. What I'd like you guys to do is have a go at this question here. So we've got our values, we've got our angle, you just need to write down sine, cos and tan, each of them as a fraction. So the first thing we need to do is label our triangle. So we've got our opposite is our 3, it's opposite my angle. My hypotenuse is my longest side, so that's my 5. And then the last one is going to be our A. So we can start filling this in up at the top. Opposite over hypotenuse is 3/5. Adjacent over hypotenuse is 4/5. And then my tan is opposite over adjacent, which is 3/4. So just have a go at the second task now on that worksheet for me, and then come back for our third and final part. The last part is the hardest part and the main part of today's lesson. It's really important that we watch that final example for me. Okay, so now we're actually going to use trigonometry to find a missing side. So first thing to do is label my triangle. So we've got my opposite is here, my hypotenuse is here, and my adjacent is down here. Now, this is where people sometimes get a bit confused. We look at which side has nothing written by it. So this side down the bottom, this side has got an X, this side has got a 7, my O has got nothing, so we cross out my O. Now I need to look up the top which one of my 3 ratios is going to use A and H. And it's going to be my red one here. It's going to be my cos. So I'm going to write down cos of my angle. My angle is 30. So I say cos 30 equals, up here is A divided by H. So it's X divided by 7. If we get this down in an exam, this will get us our first mark. Now the next thing to do is we've got to divide by 7. We need to undo dividing by 7. So we times both sides by 7. So we get 7 times cos 30 equals X. And then we go and type this into our calculator exactly like this. And our calculator will give us X equals, so it gives us 6.06. Notice it's shorter than the hypotenuse, so it needs to be less than 7. Question on the right. Have a go at this question. Follow the steps exactly as we did in red on the left-hand side. Label your sides to start off with for me, please. Okay, so first thing is label our sides. So we've got my opposite, it's opposite my angle. We've got my hypotenuse, opposite my right angle. We've got my adjacent. So we've got the X here, so we're not going to cross that one out. We've got the 9 here, so we're not going to cross that one out. So we're going to cross out my A. So we're using O and H. So we look for O and H. O and H means that we are going to, over here this time, be using my sine. So I'm going to write down that sine of my angle, so sine 40 equals my opposite, which is X, over my hypotenuse, which is 9. So again, we've got to divide by 9, so we need to undo divide by 9. So we do 9 times sine 40 equals X. We then type that into our calculator, and we get an answer of X equals 5.8.